Welcome to Discussing Dad Life, where we break down bullshit so you don't have to. I'm Void. This is No, and let's go.
Welcome
To
Main Event Mondays.
I always fuck up the name.
Sunday.
Power of Three. So,
Okay.
what are we gonna start with?
Well,
Trump's back in the news.
Well, I think we first need to address the elephant in the room, which is the missing elephant in the room, which is Biden.
The NPC.
Yeah, he is definitely a non-player character at this point in time. I mean, the news cycle's full of everything other than him.
We were gonna give you guys some updates on like what's going on with his court cases and everything, but we literally just searched and can't find anything. It's like the media's doing their job, I guess, covering up for him.
It's either that or he literally has no one cares because everyone just
knows he's an idiot.
Yeah. I mean, so we figure we'll kick it off. We got 3 articles for Trump pulled up real quick, and they all kind of tie together.
Yeah.
Right. So the first one is a full list of states where Donald Trump could be kicked off the ballot. And we were talking about that before we started this. You were saying Washington's already ruled that it can't be done.
Yeah, I saw a video saying that they rejected the suit. They threw it out.
Okay. So basically, this article is just giving the overview, right? That Trump is facing calls to be blocked from running for president in 2024 over allegations of his actions around January 6th, which is hilarious because the only actions that are like being presented are the ones that the media presented, but the media just continually lies about what goes on.
Yeah,
with him. So I mean, the stuff I know about January 6th, there's absolutely he's basically telling everyone protest peacefully, all these things, and they're just trying to do anything they can to stop this man.
See, in the video that I saw this last weekend, Kash Patel, I love that guy. He literally was on the stand, so to speak. He was on a computer, but was on the stand
doing
testimony, and he literally they were trying to word things on purpose to get him to slip up, and he was like, "No, thank you for proving my point." He was just nailing them, dude. Seriously,
he is a lawyer too, right?
Yeah.
So he already knows all the tricks the lawyers are going to pull.
You're so stupid for trying to run game on him, you know.
So the article continues to move on, and he's basically saying Trump's name removed from the ballots over claims that he violated Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which says that a person who engaged in insurrection or rebellion after taking an oath of office to support the Constitution should be prevented from running for office again. If that's the case, if they were to make this argument, then Hillary Clinton has to be banned. Yep. Stacey Abrams, what's his nugget? The dumb guy, the dumb old guy, Schumer.
Oh, Chuck Schumer.
Yeah. The fat dude, Fat Nadler. Shitty Shift.
Yeah.
Fat Nadler. I don't remember.
Jerry
Nadler.
Looks like a fucking Jabba the Hutt.
All these guys would be in the same boat. I mean, from the evidence that they're saying that Trump has, they all have done this exact same thing.
And that's what the Democrats do, I've noticed.
Yeah.
That what they're trying to tell or get you in trouble for behind the scenes, that's literally what they're doing.
100%.
That's horrible.
So there have also been calls for secretaries of state to block Trump, which would be illegal. But Democrats really don't care about legalities.
That's true.
Trump's the front runner of the GOP presidential primary. He's denied all wrongdoing in connection to the riot at the Capitol on January 6th. Calls to invoke the force as a trick to prevent him from winning. Yeah, we already knew that. I was hoping they could find the list. Yeah, Newsweek's doing this one. Where's the list though?
Colorado,
New Hampshire. I knew New Hampshire was going to do it, and that one actually kind of surprised me because it's a little bit more libertarian state.
I got family in Colorado, and they were telling me, and I was like, oh, man.
What I find hilarious is that there's a group of people that are saying, oh, if you do this, then you're supporting this, and we don't think we don't want him to represent it. But then you have other people in the state that are saying, well, no, if you remove him, you're taking away my vote. So it's just like... But this is what the left constantly does, and this is what the Democrats do. And we'll cover a little bit more on the split of the Democratic Party in when we get over to the next sections of news. But they don't care about they want freedom. They love freedom of speech until they get power, and then they want to control speech.
Yeah, right? Absolutely.
So Fascist. That's more or less what they're trying to do right here. Michigan's the next one. Arizona.
I saw that coming.
And that's it.
No, there's more than that, I thought.
I know Minnesota is going to be on that list, but it hasn't happened.
Oh, so
yet.
this is just thus far. Okay.
Yep.
That makes sense. I mean, I agree with those people that are saying you're taking away their vote. Mm-hmm. I 100% agree with those people.
Yeah.
Like and the reason why they're doing that is because they know that Trump is winning in all the polls. Any poll that I've seen, he's up there.
You're jumping. You're foreshadowing. Let's hold off. Hold that thought.
Jesus.
Lock it away just for 1 second.
Lock it. It's going to be gone out the window in 2 seconds.
I'll remember it. So the next article we got is actually talking about what's next in the Colorado trial to remove Trump, because Colorado is kind of the front runner, one leading it.
Yeah.
So witness testimony wrapped up on Friday on Donald Trump's 14th Amendment disqualification trial. The week-long trial featured testimony from legal scholars who explained the history of the amendment's insurrection ban, U.S. Capitol police officers who were wounded while fighting the pro-Trump mob on January 6th. Oh, God. I wonder if they're talking about the FBI informants that they had in
the crowd?
There. Yeah.
What was that dude's name? John?
I
can't remember.
I don't remember.
He's suing Trump now because of it or something for defamation of character, some stupid shit.
You were going to say something? No? Okay. And then 2 House lawmakers and an expert on the right-wing extremism.
Are you right-wing extremist?
No, I'm not a right-wing extremist.
No, I don't think anybody really... Well...
No, there are some.
There are. That's why I stopped myself from saying that. But most of those people that showed up to J6, man, they weren't there to do anything. You know what I mean? They were literally... And the evidence shows that they were coaxed into it.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? I've seen so many videos. There was one of the undercovers, I quoted it, and he was busting out the windows, and then somebody literally came up to him and said, "Hey, stop doing that. That's illegal." And then he tried to flip it on the person that told him to stop. Hey, look what he's doing. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I mean there was a lot of crap at January 6th that was, and it happened on one side of the building. The other side was actually really peaceful, right? But they're lumping all of it together like it was really bad.
Yeah.
It's the same as when the Summer of Peace or the Summer of Love riots were going on.
Oh God,
right? Not all of them were rioting.
No.
Granted, the news won't even call it a riot, even though that's what it was.
That's exactly what it was.
These people were coming in from outside the communities and coming in and burning down black neighborhoods, saying we're doing it for the black community.
Which makes no goddamn sense.
Which makes no sense, right? But it was fiery, but mostly peaceful.
Mostly.
It was mostly peaceful. Fiery, but mostly peaceful. January 6th. Oh, it was all riot.
It was all insurrection.
Actually, if you look at what all the security footage and stuff that has been released so far, you can see that it's actually a very small number of people that were attending it.
Yeah.
But they're just lumping everyone together, like, oh, you this is an insurrection. Well, it's not technically an insurrection. If you really want to call that an insurrection, you need to look back at the year before during the Summer of Love when they burnt down the guard shack at the forced the president inside the bunker.
Ding, ding, ding.
And then going more current. What's that nugget that just pulled the fire alarm? What's the ones that were coming in? How about the Justice Kavanaugh when he was getting vetted in doing that stuff in the Senate?
And speaking of something a little more current, did you hear about the Palestinian protest last night?
No, where is that? What happened there?
They were literally on the White House gates, man, and the Secret Service are on the other side on the radio. It was like they didn't know what the fuck to do. Yeah. Somebody said it was 1 million. I don't know about that, but it was a shit ton of people. I mean, like
1 million people.
Lot.
There was probably thousands, but not.
Yeah, there was definitely thousands. I didn't see like the whole aerial view, so I'm not going to say it was or wasn't, but there was a shitload of people.
Yeah,
and they were throwing shit with their Palestinian flags and just dude. I was like, oh shit, it's go time. It's go time.
So closing arguments are slated for November 15th, and a ruling is expected soon after. The 14th Amendment, ratified after the Civil War, says U.S. officials who take an oath to uphold the Constitution are banned from future office if they engage in insurrection. But the Constitution doesn't say how to enforce the ban. It only has applied twice since 1919, which is why many experts view these challenges as a long shot. And I would agree it's a long shot because the spirit of the 14th Amendment was if you guys were part of the Confederacy that ended up actually breaking away and violating the U.S. Constitution, you are not going to be able to. But they also didn't want to ban people that were not part of the Confederacy that just happened to live in that area.
Yeah.
From being, so that was the spirit behind, or the intention behind it, right? Mm-hmm. So this is an extreme long shot, especially since the simple fact that the only people that have convicted Trump is the court of public opinion from Democrats. No one else has convicted him. He's not been. There's been no evidence.
Yeah.
There's been no trial. There's been nothing.
Because they don't have nothing.
There hasn't even been charges.
Exactly.
What's that Trump hater down in Florida that's charging him with the documents one? Jack something.
Jack Smith?
Yeah, Jack Smith.
Yeah.
He even actually looked at charging him with insurrection and then had to pull back because there wasn't evidence to support it. Yeah, so it's just like, what the hell?
Well, you know? I mean, I'm curious to see what they're going to try next. You know what I mean? I just don't. I don't see them keeping him off the ballot box. I just don't.
Well, if they do, and Biden wins over Trump, it's going to be a huge problem. If they do and Trump still wins, it's going to be a huge problem.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. All they're doing is setting it up for continued rift in the United States.
Yeah, that's what they want. They want us divided, and we are intelligent creatures. I think we can all, most of us can agree on that, and we need to read through their BS, man.
No. I got to stop you here.
Uh-oh.
I have come to realize in this last few years that the number of NPCs that live in our world is high.
Well, yeah.
High. There is not very many critical thinkers left in this world.
No, there's not. I'll give you that one. I just meant in general, like we're smarter than, a freaking ant. Something beneath.
I would argue that, right? And the reasoning why is because an ant follows the queen, right? The queen they all have a job that they do, and
they're following Biden, aren't they?
They're just following the left's playbook. That's all they're doing.
That's fair.
They are NPCs.
But we're not so dumb to where we can't. Like I said, the vast majority of us, I would like to think, okay, can at least determine that they're fucking being lied to. I still have a little bit of faith in fucking humanity.
I think I've lost most faith in humanity.
I'm hoping, man. Maybe it's hope against hope.
As we in the West have continued to put out more and more college-educated people, we as a species have gotten stupider. And I use the word stupider on purpose.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can go back years and see that our ranking of the school system, our education.
You didn't even catch what I did you?
No, I didn't hear what you said.
Stupider is not a word, dude.
What?
Stupider is not a word.
I didn't even hear what you said.
I said it on purpose that way because I'm just trying to highlight the fact that you have to word it that way because that's how people think that English actually
speaks.
If
Paris Hilton can get OMG in the dictionary or whatever fucking word that was, I'm sure the stupider is going to be there soon.
What?
You don't remember that a few years ago?
No. What are you talking about? It was like
Paris Hilton or somebody was like OMG or some one of those little stupid acronyms. They put it in the dictionary. Not that Chinese dictionary. Yeah, dude, I remember hearing that, and it was like, what the? But the more and more that things like this happen, it's just dumbing down society more and more.
It is in the Cambridge Dictionary.
I told you.
What? I didn't know that. Seriously?
I'm sure LMFAO is and LOL. I'm sure it all is now.
Oh my God.
But you see what I'm saying? Like
OMG.
OMG.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude, it's just getting worse and worse. From where we were in like the 1950s and 1970s, where our education was what, number 1 or number 3 or something. It was up there.
Yeah.
And the more that time goes on, they dumb us down.
Wait a minute. Was it Oregon? Yeah, it was Oregon.
What?
I just read an article day before yesterday.
Oh shit! What happened?
Oregon actually has gotten rid of any basic testing for math, reading, and comprehension.
That is horrible.
They said that what it does is it disenfranchises the minorities or the people that have historically been the oppressed.
So it's racist to test them?
So it's racist to test for that. But they must understand inclusivity, gender studies, a bunch of crap that has nothing to do with it. According to the Oregon government, it is racist to actually have standards and teach kids how to actually function in life. It is ridiculous. Racist.
That's ridiculous.
I can't believe it. Sorry, just throwing that out there.
No,
it just highlights your point a little bit better.
Yeah. I'm gonna say it. That's dumb.
Yeah,
it's retarded.
It's at this point that basically, if you're living in Oregon, and I know some people that just recently moved to Oregon, they've been there for like 3 years and they love it, and I'm just like, obviously it fits you if that's literally how you think. But if you're living in Oregon and you don't agree with it, you need to work on doing the Greater Idaho movement.
Exactly, that's what I'm about to say.
The Greater Idaho movement's actually not bad. I would love to have the eastern part of Oregon and eastern part of Washington
Kind of cool.
come on into Idaho and get Idaho a little bit more political power in the federal government. Right, because we got to have some movements. But at the same time, Idaho is very old school Republican, where I don't agree with some of the things. So bringing in some of the more moderate Republicans from the eastern sides of those states would actually help progress Idaho in a way that I think it needs to go.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. That's a good argument. I can't see anything bad from them switching over here.
No, it increases the tax base of Idaho. And then it also grants the freedoms back to the people that actually want it.
Yeah, 'cause I remember reading something about that. That like half the state wanted to become part of Idaho.
Well, so it's not just half the state. Half the state wants to become part of it. But if you actually look at the voting records, in Oregon, it's basically Portland and Salem. Portland and Salem control that entire state.
See, that's
so pretty much everything east of Salem wants to be part of Idaho. Because they don't, the Portland and Salem are not representing what they actually want.
What the people.
So, but that's what the Democrats do is they get these strongholds and they pack a bunch of people in and then basically make them subservient to the government and then say the government needs to do it. And then anyone that's on the outsides who doesn't want that, they have no say because they are outnumbered now.
And that's what people are saying is happening now with all these illegals coming over the border. They're packing all those so they can't ever lose again.
Yep.
So, I mean, it makes sense.
So, okay, going back to this article, Judge Sarah Wallace, she's a district judge in Denver who was appointed by to the bench by Colorado's sitting Democratic governor, will hold closing arguments on the 15th, and he issue a ruling shortly after. Wallace has a long list of complex legal questions to answer. Was January 6th an insurrection? Did Donald Trump engage in an insurrection? Does the insurrectionist ban apply to presidents? Can she? Well, that's actually an interesting one because if you actually read Article 14, they actually list out which positions you would have to be in order to and president's not one on that list.
Ooh.
So it's interesting.
That's going to be. I'm intrigued to see what happens.
If just for the simple fact that she's a Democrat, I would, and she was appointed by the Democrats, I would say she's going to vote or rule in favor of keeping Trump off it. I guarantee this is going to go up to the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court's just going to knock it right down.
Yeah,
because it's absolute trash.
Dude, a lot of this shit that they're trying to get him on is trash.
Yeah, and there's a reason for that, guys. I'm not going to go through the rest of this article, but basically, the testimony wrapped up, and we should have a ruling before Thanksgiving. And we'll see how that goes. I do know Trump's legal team's already gearing up to bring it up to the Supreme Court. So,
dude, his legal team is just smashing like comments at like when they leave the courthouse and they're asking interviews. Dude, they're just tearing it up. They're tearing it up. Yeah, go get on YouTube and look some of that shit up, you guys.
And the next article that we're gonna pull up, or that we're pulling up right now, this is the reason why the Democrats are going after him so hard.
Yep.
Donald Trump leads Joe Biden in 5 battleground states before 2024 election, new poll says. Former President Donald Trump led President Joe Biden in 5 battleground states in the hypothetical matchup ahead of the 2024 presidential election, according to a new poll. Even a year before the 2024 race, Trump has long been frontrunner in the crowded field of the White House hopefuls. Heading to the election, Democrats are expected to throw their support behind Biden as the incumbent president seeking a second term in office. But new polls from the New York Times and Siena College published Sunday found that Trump led Biden by 10 points in Nevada, 6 points in Georgia, 5 points in Arizona, 5 points in Michigan, and 4 points in Pennsylvania. Now, hold on. I'm stopping here because the polls from New York Times and Siena College. Mm-hmm. Now, if you look at New York Times and Siena College's polling since 2012.
Is it shady?
They have been always lowballing. So when they say 10 points in Nevada, it's probably closer to 14. When they say 6 points in Georgia, it's probably closer to 10. When they say 5 points in Arizona, it's probably closer to 9. 5 points in Michigan, probably closer to 9. 4 points,
so in other words, more than likely, Trump's smoking Biden in all these places.
Yep. For some weird reason, the polls always favor Democrats.
I think that's not the first time I've heard that before.
And you can go back. So was it 531, 581, 531? I think they're decently good.
Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about now.
And then there's one other that's actually pretty good. But even those ones still got Trump. They were wrong by like 3 to 4 points. But I mean, if I remember right, I think it was New York Times. Mm-hmm. If I remember right, was like off by like 16 points on one.
I remember that was last 2020 election, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing about that.
Yeah.
Either way, this is why they are trying to keep Trump off the ballot, because he's going to win, and they know. At least I have a feeling that they know he's going to come clean house.
Yes.
He's coming to town, dude, and
he's already said it.
Oh yeah.
Schedule F. He's already planning on doing a Schedule F.
It's such an exciting time.
Speaking of your buddy Cash Patel is actually the one I do believe that's heading up the Schedule F rollout.
Dude, he's such a badass. I love Cash Patel.
And or is it Cash the one doing the? There's one that's working on how to roll out the Schedule F when he gets back in office, and there's another one that's working on cabinet members. And I can't remember which one Cash is doing. He's doing one or the other.
I remember the interview the other day that I saw. He said he's leading. I want to say leading the cabinet members.
He might be.
I think I'm gonna go with that one. But either way, dude, he's definitely a good person for Trump to have on his team.
Oh, definitely. So
let's see what else we got. How did Trump Biden compare? Biden won each of the 6 battleground states listed in a poll in 2020 presidential election.
But the survey showed that Biden's popularity among the groups of voters who have supported his victory, such as voters under 30, appeared to be declining. Oh, and there's a reason for that.
I wonder.
There's a reason for that. There's a reason why I'm not a Democrat. There's also a reason why I'm not a Republican.
Fair.
However, if I were to have to choose between the two evils, I'm going with the lesser of two evils, which is a Republican.
Yeah.
At this point in time, because Democrats are the party of corporations. They are the elitist party now. That doesn't mean that you do have the neocons who love war on the Republican side, and you have the elitist, old school Republicans that are very corporatist as well. Mm-hmm. But where the breeding ground happens to come, what the breeding ground of change is happening in, is actually the Republican Party. Yeah. You have a breeding ground. Now, the unfortunate part about that is the deep state and the media, their allies in the media, in the Democrat Party, are trying to list them all as extremists,
which is not
true. You know, Matt Gaetz did a wonderful thing with the Speaker of the House, but everyone seems to think that he did this horrible thing just because he questioned the status quo.
Like that.
But he needed to. The American people were not happy with it.
Their job.
The American people are looking for someone like Matt Gaetz to push off the status quo. Mm-hmm. Stop passing these omnibuses. Stop giving our money away. Stop working on foreign wars. Stop doing all these things. Work on us. Exactly. We have too many problems internally.
Yeah, dude.
Yes, we are on the global stage, but we are not the global police.
Fuck no. And
we have too many internal struggles to focus on our money just continually pouring out.
Yeah, well,
we also need to get back. But before this, oh God, I'm probably going to get put on the list to be assassinated.
Shit. He's getting heated, ladies.
So the Fed, right? Before the Fed happened, if the U.S. wanted to go to war, what happened?
Tell them.
U.S. war bonds were issued. Mm-hmm. So the American people had to purchase U.S. war bonds in order for the government to get money in order to fund the war.
Yeah, finance it.
Right? That no longer happens this day.
No.
What do?
They declare it in Congress and then fucking print the money out.
They don't even declare it. There hasn't been a declared war since like Vietnam.
I thought the one that was declared with Bush.
Nope.
I thought that was declared. Oh, okay. All right. I stand corrected.
Well, we should probably double check that. But I'm 99% sure it never got actually
that's
declared.
Fine. So anyways.
But they just go to the Fed and say, hey, we need to borrow money. So the Fed prints off a bunch of money. They pay Lockheed, they pay freaking Boeing, they pay all the freaking big ass companies, military companies, to build all these weaponries so we can go kill innocent people overseas.
Yep.
Because we think we know best.
Yeah.
And then guess what happens? The federal government says, "Oh, hey, we need to pay that back. Hey, all you guys,
Hey, citizen slaves.
We're going to increase your taxes."
Slaves.
Even though you didn't want to do this.
Slaves.
All of our records show that you didn't support this, but we did because we got rich off of it. But we're going to take your money in order to pay back the money that we borrowed in order to go do a war that you guys didn't want to do. Thank you.
Now be happy with nothing, slave. Get back to work. Yep.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
I'm not a fan of a centralized bank.
Well.
And there's a reasoning why. Because it puts power into a group of people that have no accountability. Yeah. Decentralization of a bank is actually going to be way more better, which is one reason why there was no central bank set up in the United States.
Yeah, it was.
Until, we need it. And it was, I think it was the Rockefellers that were the main reasons
Rockefellers and Rothschilds.
Yep.
And that's why, you go down the conspiracy theory lane. That's why everything that's going on right now with Israel, with Ukraine and all that stuff is because of the banks.
Yes.
They don't want to lose power. They don't want to lose their control over the people. And it's anybody who's paying attention can obviously see that this is another banker's war.
Yep.
So.
Well, my big thing is I'm very libertarian when it comes to this. I'm more laissez-faire capitalist. I believe that the capitalist market, left alone, will solve most of the issues.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously, you need some stuff to prevent insider trading and monopolies from forming, stuff like that. Right. There is going to be a small amount of government interventions on it. But the level of intervention that the government has in place now, specifically income, minimum wage income or minimum wage, that's a huge one. Taxes is a huge one.
Yeah.
And then also setting interest rates, using the Fed to set interest rates. That's another big one.
Yeah.
So, and then borrowing without, if you were a business and you spent the money that the U.S. government spent, nobody would want to lend you money, right? Because you're going to
you're not good for it.
You're not good for it.
Yeah.
But our government is allowed to do that. I mean, I'm
well,
not.
Didn't their credit rating just get dropped, man?
Yeah, it was the first time in like 100 years or something like. Yeah, ever.
Our currency. I don't even know what our currency right now is valued at.
It's bad.
I know it's horrible.
It's bad.
But dude, if this BRICS nation stuff pops off, like we're hyperinflation.
So, I've been wanting to try figuring out if I can invest in some bricks.
Why can't you?
I don't know. I haven't even looked at it. I'm assuming you could, right?
I think we should look into that.
We should. Just
to
maybe diversify a little bit.
Yeah.
Because there is a strong probability that BRICS is going to become the world currency here shortly.
Huge possibility.
So why not put your money in at a low point and then wait for it to become the world, because then you're just going to have a lot more money.
Yeah. The value is going to increase.
Just kind of like crypto. Crypto's on the rise right now too.
Yep.
Decentralized currencies are going to be much more efficient.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Dude, it's just, sorry, I had to take a minute and just think about all the shit we just talked about. Like, that's insane. Like, I never thought when I was a little kid, because, you're a little kid, you don't pay attention to shit like this, but, you get into those conversations with your parents, or, when you get to, like, your teens, 20s, and you're like, oh, yeah, we're doing good, and then now that I'm in my 30s, it's like, we're not. No, I've been lied to my whole life.
Yeah. Yeah, we're down for the count right now, and we're going to end in a
fatality.
And with that being said,
okay, moving on. So this is
this is what I was telling you about.
This is the one you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
Which one you want? You want MSN or you want Washington Times?
Go with Washington Times.
Okay, let's open it.
Nancy Pelosi back in the spotlight. Well, not really. Nobody's. I mean, they're
when
talking about it.
November 1st. Okay.
Yeah, they're talking about it, but they're not giving it a whole lot of attention.
I haven't even read this one yet, so
I haven't read this one either.
Well, you know more about it. I mean, I haven't even read anything on this.
I'm pretty much in the same boat. All I know is that she got served papers or she was subpoenaed. So, I mean, we're about to find out together. It says, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has been served with a subpoena to produce documents in a California criminal case. So she's actually being charged. The California...
Well, no, that doesn't mean...
It's in a criminal case.
Yeah, but that being served with a subpoena does not mean she's getting charged.
Oh, yeah, I said that wrong. Yeah. No, you're right. The California Democrat informed the House of the subpoena Wednesday, and her statement was read into the record by the House clerk. And that's what I saw, which is the custom when a chamber member is subpoenaed. This is to notify you formally that I have been served with third-party subpoenas from the prosecution and the defendant to produce documents in a criminal case and United States District Court for the Northern District of California, her statement said. Ms. Pelosi said she decided that compliance with the subpoenas is consistent with the privileges and of the House to the extent it requires producing of non-privileged information. Fox News reported, citing a source familiar with this situation, that the subpoena was related to the trial of the man accused of assaulting Paul Pelosi in a home invasion last year.
Oh.
Huh.
Oh.
I didn't.
Oh.
That's not what I expected.
Oh. Woo. Okay. This is hot. This is hot. Okay. Interesting.
We're gonna have to keep an eye on this.
Yeah.
Well,
okay, that's the whole
it.
article. It
Yeah.
just says everything. But damn. Okay.
Going?
Well, no. So that's the interesting. A source familiar with the situation, right? I hate when they do that because who's the source familiar with the situation?
Yeah.
Right? Is it, this is what the media used to do. A source close to the Trump, and then they like put like a fucking bum sitting outside the restaurant that he was eating at because that's the source and he was close.
He smelt the fart.
So I hate when they do that. It's like you guys are trying to like lend credence to your source, but your source really could literally be a bum that has no actual knowledge of it, but you just want to use him as the source.
Yeah.
That the subpoena was related to the trial of the man accused of assaulting Paul Pelosi in the home invasion last year.
I forgot all about that home assault.
I didn't forget about it. There was a lot of interesting stuff that was kind of put out around that whole thing.
Yeah, I remember.
But
I hadn't thought about it in a while.
But this is interesting.
It's gonna get interesting.
This is gonna get really interesting.
I figured it was gonna be for inside trading or something.
Well, that would have been fun, but this is actually gonna be fun too.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, so
he's in the hot seat again. And then lastly, I think this is lastly.
Yeah, the last one that we'll cover.
Yep. Israel. Well, it's kind of an update on some of the stuff that's going on in Israel. I don't know who's produced the videos, whether it's a CIA, FBI, somebody produced these videos and released them to the public. They captured some of the Hamas. I don't know what the terrorists.
The hummus.
The hummus.
The hummus.
Hummus. How do you say it?
Like the dip?
Hamas.
Like the dip?
I don't know.
Oh, you're saying Hamas, like the terrorist organization.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Hummus.
Just giving you crap.
No, dude, I don't know how to. I am not Middle Eastern, okay? I'm sorry if I'm slaughtering your language, but an apartment and who's this? This is with ynetnews.com. An apartment and $10,000 promised for each Israeli captive. Captured terrorist says. Interrogations reveal Hamas terrorists were given orders to kill and abduct elderly women and children. Hamas instructed us to crush skulls and behead them, one of the terrorists says. And there's videos you can I've seen some of these, and they go into some pretty detail. I don't know if this
footage confirms Hamas war crimes.
Yeah, right? Dude.
So there's videos on that.
And it just goes through.
It says 6 Hamas terrorists from the
Nuku. I'm not going to try.
Yeah. Who participated in the terror attack on communities along the Gaza border told their interrogators that Hamas offered to reward its terrorists the sum of $10,000 and provide them with an apartment in return for every captive brought back to the Strip.
Uh-huh.
Now, they said they were ordered to kidnap the elderly, the women, and children, clean houses, and expose as many captives as possible. Clean houses? I wonder if
I'm assuming clear
houses.
Yeah.
During the interrogation, the terrorists provided harrowing descriptions of the actions of the day of the massacre. Her dog came out, so I shot it. We took a 15-year-old girl. We took a selfie with her. She was lying dead on the floor, so I shot her.
The commander shouted at me, asking why I was wasting bullets on her. We finished, and then we set 2 houses on fire. Like, they just go into a bunch of detail. The video's worse.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to watch the videos, and we're not going to pour it for you guys. One of the terrorists participated in the terror attack on the Kitzbühel Allium.
Lumum?
Yeah, I'm not from there, so I'm going to butcher these names. Sorry. And was subsequently captured by security forces. During his interrogation, he disclosed to the investigators that Ahead of their mission, the terrorists received the approval to kill women and children from religious authorities. The plan was to move from house to house, room to room, throw grenades, and kill everyone there, including women and children, he said. Hamas instructed us to do so, to do the beheading, or the following: behead them and cut their legs. The IDF also released disturbing information from his interrogation related to sexual abuse, which they chose not to publish, because some of the stuff sexual abuse is horrid. According to the Shin Bet and the police, there were several recurring features in the terrorist statements during the interrogations. They consistently claimed that they received explicit instructions to murder and abduct civilians, specifically targeting the elderly, women, and children. They also noted that senior commanders within Hamas military branch from the ranks of sergeant and higher remained behind protected and concealed apartments and hideouts while they sent their terrorists into Israel territory. All the terrorists provided detailed information about the morning of the terror attack and the massacres in the settlements during their Shin Bet interrogations. The Shin Bet emphasized that the security forces of the State of Israel will hold all the terrorists who participated in the October 7th massacre accountable for their actions, and that the valuable information provided has also have been and will continue to be used to targeting objectives in the Gaza Strip.
It just goes into details.
Yeah. So that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
And I'm getting really sick of the argument of like, oh, who's in the right, Palestine and Israel, right?
Yeah, it's a big argument right now.
And the reason I'm sick of this argument is this. It boils down to this single argument. If Hamas and the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip were to lay down and get rid of every single firearm, explosive device, whatever, there would not be a marching into the Gaza Strip and the murder of everyone, right?
Okay.
But if Israel were to disarm and get rid of all their firearms, explosives, and whatnot, there would be a massacre. Everyone in Israel would die. And that's why I'm sick of the argument between the two. Because you have two sides with very different views.
Yeah,
one does not mind coexisting next to someone.
Yeah.
The other does. So the simple fact that if we're just looking at that one right there, the argument is stupid. Yeah. Because one wants the death and destruction, the other one doesn't.
Yeah. And now we got, I think it was Yemen, another, or was it Turkey? I can't remember. Another country over there is getting ready to back, I think it was Hamas, or whatever they're called, man. I can't. Hamas, there you go.
Hummus is like that dip that you put on like crap.
I know. I thought it was the same. Man, maybe they got it from them. I don't know. I'm not eating that shit. But Yemen or one of those other Middle Eastern countries is literally getting ready to back them. And I think they're supposed to announce that tomorrow. I don't remember when the date is, but they're supposed to announce whether or not they're backing them. And if they do intervene, then America says, well, we're going to back Israel. And guess what? There we go again.
America's already backed Israel.
I know. I meant, but like... So according to media or whatever I've seen, like America's there and they're supporting it with like ammunitions and stuff like that, but our actual soldiers are not doing anything.
Oh, no boots on the ground yet.
Yeah. I mean, they're there, but they're not.
My stance is this. Obviously, Israel has a right to defend itself.
Absolutely.
Right? Obviously, based on the simple fact of how I broke it down, where if Israel were to disarm, they would be murdered, and Hamas and the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip, if they would not be. Obviously, Israel has a right. I'm going to back Israel a little bit more than on this, but my overall stance is this: it's Israel's problem, not America.
Yes,
right.
That is 100,000% correct.
We have too many problems internally in the United States that we have to contend with. That we cannot also contend with the problems of Israel. Right. Now, I know that like Ben Shapiro obviously is a huge supporter because he's Jewish, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean my heart's not going out to it. That also doesn't mean that my heart doesn't go out to the kids in the Gaza Strip that are getting killed, right? Nothing about this is good in any way, shape, or form. But by us increasing aid, sending boots on the ground, doing this and picking a side, picking the winner and picking the loser, this does nothing for the United States. We have no vested interest in this right now.
Oh, hell no.
And
it's just making things worse.
That's all we're doing. We're escalating tensions there. Every step we take, we are escalating tensions there, right?
Yep, which keeps the attention off of our own problems here. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's ridiculous.
you know, there is no simple answer in the Middle East problem, right?
There's not.
But you can't have how to say it.
I'm waiting.
You can't have a two-state solution when one state wants the destruction of the other state.
Yeah, no, they hate each other. Well,
right. So I don't see how you can have a peaceful resolution to any of this. And because of that, let's just step out of it and let them deal with it internally, figure it out. I do know Trump did amazing steps and bounds by normalizing relations with a lot of the
he was
powers
making
in the
progress.
areas. And I'm pretty sure Biden, through his Iran deal, giving more money to Iran and Iran being a problem. But then you also got the neocons and the warhawks in the Democratic Party that love bombing and killing children. Yeah. They just want to go after Iran. So it's like, I mean, there's no right way to this. That's the part that's pissed me off. There's no right answer.
No.
One is a little bit morally superior than the other, but they're still killing women and children.
Yeah, regardless.
Right. So they're not intentionally doing it, but they're still doing it. So, yeah, I guess.
No, man,
it's too complicated. It's too complicated for a simple solution. It spans back thousands of years.
Yeah, and who are we to step in and be like, all right, you're wrong, you're right?
Exactly.
That's your guys' business, man.
We're not the world police.
No.
America has no business in this.
No. I mean, I'm sure that the people behind the scenes have a fucking reason to be there, but you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
100%.
So,
all right. That's kind of going to catch you up on a lot of the stuff that's going on in today's world.
Yep.
As you can see, the NPC that is leading our country currently is not even in the news. I mean, we couldn't find anything really pressing that Biden's in the news for.
Yeah, I heard he was being. He was gonna get something. I don't remember.
I don't know.
Anyways, you guys have a good one.
Yeah. Peace.
Thank you for watching. Please give us a like, share, and subscribe. Till then, peace.